This Mobile Geeks video is powered by ASUS.
So the first thing you notice about the box is that it looks a lot like an iPhone box, but this is the Letv 1S. I have to admit, once you have it in your hand, it feels amazing. The build quality is excellent, but we'll get into a walk around of the phone just after we check out what's inside the box. So, SIM unlock and user manuals. Here is the PSU as well as an adapter if you're in Europe. And this is a USB Type-C cable. So here it is, guys, the Letv or the Letv 1S. So this is actually their third attempt at a smartphone. If you've never heard of them, well, it's because they're a Chinese company, and Letv is basically, or Letv as some people like to say, they're basically the Netflix of China. So they have a lot of direct video that they sell. Their very first phone actually came with a 1-year free subscription. This one does not. So we actually got this this unit through the guys at eFox Shop. There's a link down below if you're looking at picking one up. And let's just go through what this is all about, because honestly, the hardware on this is absolutely killer. When you hold it in your hand, there's no way that this is a $200 device. The display is really nice. We'll see that when that finally comes up. Right here on the back, this is a fingerprint sensor that is super fast. It's nice and mirrory. I can see my fingerprint in it, which it's almost too glossy. 13 megapixel shooter here on the back, single flash. Here on the bottom, that's a USB Type-C, so we do have a relatively fast charge. If you plug this in for 5 minutes, you're going to get about 3.5 hours of talk time. Now, 25% of the battery is approximately an hour and 35 minutes of screen on time. I'd say this has average battery life. I don't have a USB Type-C at home, so when I did take this home at the end of the day, I was like, oh crap, I have to shut the phone down because I'm not sure what the standby time is going to be like, and I want to be able to use it on my way into work in the morning. So this isn't a 2-day type scenario. Under the hood, this is actually running a MediaTek, a 64-bit octa-core processor. This is their Helio X10, and it does a really good job of performing. If we take a look around the system, here we have a dual SIM card. Now, the second SIM card tray does not double as an SD card, which is kind of unfortunate. So the 32 gigabytes of onboard storage is the only thing that you're going to get. And in case you're wondering, it comes with 3 gigabytes of RAM. Along the bottom, like I mentioned, USB Type-C. So if you do run out of juice, you're not going to be able to find one of those easily in the wild. At the bottom here, we have some speakers. Around the side, we have the power button as well as the volume rocker. Everything on this phone feels amazing. So, I've been using it for a week, and I am going to get into all the things that make me crazy. Oh yeah, just on the top we have, I believe that's an IR blaster, and then that's your headphone jack. The edges of the phone kind of have this two-tone finish. I think it's to make it look thinner. I'm not really sure. But anyways, it's brushed here and then kind of shiny right along the edges. If you look at the display, just go into focus here. All right, if we take a look at the display, and let's pull up a couple of pictures here. It's gorgeous, right? This is a gorgeous display. It's bright, it has good viewing angles. One of the cool things about this phone is that when it's off, right, it looks like there's no bezel, right? And when you turn it on, right, there is, here we go. There is about I'd say 2 to 3 millimeter black bezel around it. But regardless, the phone looks beautiful. That's just one of those things that I was always so surprised about. This is a $200 handset, and this is just got a 500 nit display. It's only 1080p. This on the front's a 5 megapixel front-facing camera, and that's the ambient light sensor. Now, the ambient light sensor does a so-so job of being able to handle everything. Now, one of the things I don't think you can see right there, if you notice that, you can see that there are actually hardware buttons down here along the bottom. So that we have to go to Home. Here we go. This is the multitasking page. Now, this is a great design, right? So we have all the quick launch icons up over here. Then we have everything that's open. Then we have everything here. Now, it's great. So you press that, and then this is kind of what comes up. But the unfortunate thing is, right, you're used to doing things in your notification bar. right? So here's all my notifications. They're all kind of coming through. But to be honest with you, it always feels a bit spammy. And then when you hit settings, it goes to the settings of the apps, which is really unfortunate. So you have to go multitask in order to kind of go anywhere. Play music, but this is a beautifully designed display. But at the same time, I've had to do a lot in order to kind of get around that, because this, as my main UI navigation, has been something that I've been kind of fighting against it a little bit, or it's not that intuitive. So what I've done is I've actually gone ahead and I've done the Nova launcher, right? So a little bit more familiar of the UI. I tried to do the Google Now, but for some reason I can't select that. So let's just try to launch the Google Now. We go into settings and it's not an option. For whatever reason, I can't pull up Google Now. So let's choose Nova. Let's go back. All right, so now we have like a much more familiar UI than what we're used to. The only thing is launchers don't change the taskbar. So what I've gone, and I've tried a few because I've never really been in a situation where I'm like, I can't live with this notification bar. This Widgetsoid, solid, right? Really solid. So I've actually created this as the thing that I want, and I can modify it, add a bunch of things on, right? So now when I pull it down, I have a quick launch bar, right? It doesn't quite get rid of everything that I want, right? Because I want that to not, what is that? I don't even know why you would want to go into the settings of the apps or the notifications. Anyways, right, let's just head into the settings to talk about battery life. I did mention that I do have to charge up, or I did have to turn the phone off. Right, so 25%, an hour and 42 minutes. That's not too bad. But at the same time, this isn't a 2-day thing where you can forget to charge at night and make it to work the next day. The software is the biggest downside for me, but having said that, you can customize it. So I have Nova Launcher. I've put some things into my notification bar. You can download a different camera UI should you want to. So then let's just take a look at a couple of these sample photos. So here's some donuts that I took. That's an amazing amount of detail. Some sesame balls from the street. Someone frying. There's just a restaurant exterior. So you can see up there's a little bit of bleeding from the backlight. And now it was a very overcast day, so I'm surprised that I'm having any of that at all. Here's my soup. Oh God, this was so good. All of those green onions and all that veg there, and meat, and the miso was amazing. So there's the soup. Here's an MRT map. Right, so good amount of detail when you zoom in on the words, right? Actually quite good, a really good amount of detail. Here's a video of some vegetables. I'm like, whoops, didn't mean to do that. So here's some veg, zoom in on that. The edges are fairly clear. Now, one of the things that you'll notice between, say, these two, this is much darker, much lighter but clear. So the exposure swing on these is pretty big. Now, they've got Beautify on the camera here. So here's my dog. He's like, why are you taking my picture? There's me trying it out again. There's more dog. Yeah, okay, so here's the photo of him shaken away. Right, so like decent color. Yeah, very decent for a $100 or a $200 phone. Now this bush was actually moving, like it was quite windy, so I'm surprised any of it got into focus. Now between these two, you can see the backlighting. It doesn't deal with that well. Now here's a photo of me. I have no pores, so their Beautify is pretty aggressive. But the color scheme, like, and for outdoor photos, this is really great. So here's actually the exact thing, right? So here he is. There's a Type A 101. And then when I chose the wrong exposure, so the 101 completely goes away. No 101. There, I've got the 101. And then he gave me the best smile ever. There he is, right? But if you look at this, now I believe that you should be editing your photos because it's just the obvious thing to do. Now, let me... Goodness, how do I pull up the notification? Oh. Physical buttons, Nicole, physical buttons. All right, so let's just head into the gallery for a second. Head back. Now my Snapseed photos. So check out this photo of him. So you saw that photo that I posted of when I took it. It was kind of dark. Now, the edited photo of this looks amazing. I really brought out the color saturation. It does look a bit over-processed, but at the same time, I was able to bring out all the detail in his face and the background, and he's got good color saturation. So you should be editing most of your photos, and if you can, there's actually the camera's quite good for what you get. For a $200 phone, this is a great camera. So I mean, to summarize, the build quality on this is amazing. The battery life is all day. The software sucks, so you just have to kind of get past that or just accept that. The only thing that you're going to be able to do is press this button. Right, but you can control your music. Yeah, music. It is not that good. Tinny, but loud enough. The call quality seems to be okay. It sounds tinny, it sounds hollow, it's not exactly the go-to, yeah, I would definitely not go to it, but I mean, it's got a fast and accurate fingerprint sensor. My only complaint about it is that sometimes I only hit the side of my finger on it, and when you take the fingerprint analysis, it doesn't let you just take the side, so you do have to hit it straight on, but that's not a big deal. Actually, I'm just being super picky, but it's totally flagship quality, really great fingerprint sensor. So overall, the build quality on this thing is absolutely amazing. It's just you're going to have to take the time to tune the software a little bit, and for $200, I think that's totally something that you can do. So Nicole Scott here from Mobile Geeks, taking a look at the Letv Le1S.
This Mobile Geeks video is powered by ASUS.